I think we got everybody. We'll go ahead and call Marshall County Fiscal Court to order, October 16th, 2018. First under guest is going to be the Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary. I see the lady sitting here this morning. Good morning. We're going to do the Lovelight tree proclamation, and we'll go ahead and get started. In the past, I've had y'all stand up here. Do y'all want to come up and stand around? Come on up. Bob's the only one that bites. Good morning. I'll go ahead and read this. This is the proclamation, countywide observance of Lovelight Tree Day, whereas Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary is a nonprofit organization seeking always to benefit and promote the Marshall County Hospital, and whereas Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary has in the past year purchased one industrial paper shredder for the hospital, and whereas the Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary gave the 6th annual $500 scholarship for 2 students in Marshall County going into the healthcare field, and whereas Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary will have provided for 32 consecutive years an avenue for individuals to commemorate and honor loved ones, deceased or living, by sponsoring the Lovelight tree each December, and whereas the Marshall County Hospital Auxiliary would like to set aside one special day to encourage county residents to remember loved ones by making a donation to have a light placed on the Lovelight tree. Therefore, the Marshall County Fiscal Court does hereby proclaim Friday, November 2nd, 2018, Lovelight Tree Day in Marshall County, given under my hand on the 16th day of October, 2018. I'll go ahead and sign that. I know this is a great thing that y'all do. I know my niece, who passed, donated and put something on the tree for her. Thank you very much. And we'll make sure that we get this information out on our webpage too, so everybody knows.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. Do y'all want to get a picture? Did y'all get a picture? Immediate? See if we can get that on the paper.
Y'all could switch together a little better. Switch. Thank you very much. Yep, I have to work.
Yes, please. And what is the development? Anything above 5.
You don't know. Thank you very, very much.
Chad came in. We'll go ahead under guest. Chadman came with Rivercrest Engineering. Present the engineering service proposal. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Apologize for my tardiness today. I wanted to give you an update, talk to you about the Southwest 1 property here first, and also provide an update on the sewer expansion project over there in Draftonville. As y'all may very well know, things are moving very well over there on the Southwest 1 property, and we have been asked to present a proposal to the Fiscal Court for extending the water and sewer services over there to the site, and also helping out with some coordination with the AT&T and gas company for extending utilities to that Southwest 1 property. So I understand you guys have a copy of our proposal in there that includes engineering design services, taking it from the planning process all the way through the construction of the water and sewer facilities for that project. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions you all may have regarding that front. I know there's some coordination with the City of Benton that will be included with this effort. I have spoken with the mayor on a couple opportunities just to discuss the interceptor sewer component of that project and to just kind of paint the whole picture there. To serve that Southwest 1 development, there's a couple things that need to happen. One, extend the water services from the existing water tower, the 500,000-gallon water tower down there on 641 to the site. It's about a mile worth of water main that needs to be designed and installed to the site to provide adequate water service and pressures for any type of development over there for fire suppression and other needs that they would have. Also, due to the lay of the land, it's not conducive to a gravity sewer extension to the City of Benton system, and it's kind of on the southwestern reaches, which limits the capacity that the city has in their gravity sewer system. So the plan there would be to install a new lift station that would serve the entire Southwest 1 development and a force main that would pump up to near Wood Trace, where an interceptor sewer would be extended from the Golf Course Road west over there to Wood Trace. And that would open up adequate capacities within the city's sewer system to allow for those flows not to overtake, any of the existing flows in their system or to cause any type of backups in their system. So those are the three components for the water and sewer system that would need to be included in there for the development to include any new customers down in that area. There are some infrastructure on the sewer that are closer than Wood Trace, obviously. Whenever the middle school was put in, they actually put in a lift station that pumps over to Slickback Road, and the city has another smaller lift station there. But whenever we were trying to justify the cost with upgrading the Slickback lift station again and installing a new force main from there all the way over to Wood Trace, it was much more economical to go ahead and put a separate lift station at the regional Southwest 1 site and then extend the force main all the way up to Wood Trace, rather than try to leapfrog through the city's existing lift station infrastructure.
Chad, can you also discuss as far as the meeting we had with Kyle Pope, Dennis Smith, the chairman of the IDA, and yourself, the utilities, working with all the agencies that are going to be putting in utilities, and coordinating that with one single individual to make sure that there's a consistent effort. But two, working with the contractor that's going to be building the new headquarters so that the timeline is consistent. Because I think that's something that we have discussed in the past, is that the timeline is important, that we work together with the contractor.
That is correct. And based on that meeting, we understand that they're looking at a timeline of about 12 months being active down there at that site if all goes well. And to do that, there's a coordination effort, and we felt it necessary to get Kyle Pope with the Transportation Cabinet involved in that. The state had previously raised their hand and said they'd be favorable. They would look favorably upon issuing an encroachment permit and allowing a lot of those utilities to be installed on the right-of-way of 641 getting down to that site, which tremendously reduces the amount of time in getting easements and a lot of that process that we went through just as recently as the sewer expansion project. So that's going to be very helpful.
They've already signed off and agreed to that?
They haven't signed it, but we have verbally got commitment from Mike McGregor before he left, and also Tom Hines with the Transportation Cabinet in District 1, and Kyle's in one accord with them on that effort. And they don't have any conflicts out there, and they don't have any issues. Once we get the design done, then we'll put a encroachment permit together that they can approve at that time.
Okay, if they don't have any problem with it, I don't understand why they wouldn't have signed off on it then.
Well, you need design plans to go along with the encroachment permit so that they know exactly where those facilities are. So if someone else comes by and says, hey, well, I want to put an entrance in and anywhere along that 641 corridor, they want to make sure that the utilities are deep enough and they're out of the way, or they have identified those conflicts before they sign off on it. Yeah, but that's typical process. We just have to go through that design process first before we can apply for the encroachment permit there.
And we're talking about the facilities, the infrastructure that belong to the city of Benton.
And AT&T as well.
Right, but I'm talking about in particular, the water.
Water and sewer both.
Water
Yes.
and sewer belong to the, and I've expressed my interest in sitting down with as a group, this body and the mayor of the city of Benton or the Benton City Council representatives from there and eyeball to eyeball and you know, talking about this project because it's their basketball. They own the system and so forth, so they control whether we play the game or not. And certainly, I think they need to be in on the conversation.
Sure, I agree. And that's why I've had several discussions with the mayor already, and just to make sure she understands the scope
No,
of it.
I also have had conversations with the mayor, and that's why I make that statement.
I understand.
And that's further on the agenda. If you look down at Old Business C, we have that on the agenda. This is the engineering service proposal.
But in addition to that coordination that you were talking about, Judge, part of our scope of work in that proposal will be to coordinate with the Transportation Cabinet, AT&T, Benton Water, Sewer, and Gas for the development of those encroachment permits and the alignments, make sure everybody's not stepping on one another's toes as the utilities come in. Just make sure that the right-of-ways are allocated appropriately and make sure that there's adequate room for everybody to get over there to the site.
Is there any questions over the, you've seen the proposal. This is information that's been presented in executive session and discussed in executive session. But is there any questions for Chad? Any other questions?
This is, we talked about this number, I mean, this proposed cost, I think, before. You had already presented that.
Yes.
That hasn't changed.
And that's right, and we had put together a preliminary cost estimate for the entire design and construction, the $2.18 million, several months back, and that proposal, the 2.18 included engineering fees, and that would come out of it. That 304 actually comes out of that 2.18. And it's actually a little bit less than that initial estimate that we put together due to the elimination of that KIA funding component that we thought might be involved in this project and some administration fees as well that we're able to take out of that.
And this body is totally responsible for the financing.
That's my understanding that there's going to be a coordination effort with the City of Benton for the interceptor sewer extension portion of that project. There's a KIA.
That's included in this proposal.
The design is included in that
Okay.
proposal. Yes, sir.
Okay.
The city had recently put together a project application to KIA for the interceptor sewer project, and that had a total budget of right near $689,000, $89,000 of that being contingencies. So when we're talking about a $600,000 amount, that's that project for the interceptor sewer extension.
They
which
haven't
includes-
received that, and
They received notification from KIA that they could get funded for that project, but due to the coordination with the county, they felt that it wouldn't be to their benefit at this time to go ahead with that loan from KIA.
that was my understanding from talking to Mayor Dotson about the project and so forth. Like I say, and I expressed concern last meeting that I think since we're partners in this project, that we need to sit down, this body needs to sit down with representatives from the City of Benton, and we're in this thing together. It's a team effort, and it's a win for them, and it's a win for us, and it's a win for Marshall County, but certainly we need to be on the same sheet of music.
Sure, I would agree.
That hasn't happened yet.
We're discussing Old Business Section C. There's two separate things that are on the agenda. If we want to go ahead and discuss Section C under Old Business, sounds like we already are. But the proposal is the first item that we need to discuss. And the expansion agreement that's under Section C does tie into it. That's why you've got the documentations. And I think the KIA project profile that is attached is what Chad's talking about. That was an existing project that Benton had put in place. And I know when we sat down with the mayor and her staff, that was expressed that project, regardless, has to be upgraded. Was that 11-inch
Yes.
line to,
No,
I
that
believe,
is
an
correct.
18-inch line?
It needs to be expanded. There's a 15-inch interceptor sewer that's over there that starts at Golf Course Road and runs north and east.
Yeah,
And-
I understand that in my conversations with the mayor too, and, but what was in doubt is who's going to be responsible financially for the project, and those details, I think, need to be worked out. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is sit down eyeball to eyeball to have Rita Dotson, the representatives of the city of Benton, here at the same table with us, and yourself as the engineering firm, and get a business plan. See who's responsible for what.
If you will look at the old business, and it is old business because we've discussed this, that's exactly what Section C basically is what we're going to discuss.
Okay, we're discussing it now, I thought.
Well, we're under guest, Section
Well, I
B,
know you
talking
said we
about the
might as well
engineering service
discuss it since
proposal.
we're already discussing it. I thought that's what we were talking about right now.
Are there any questions regarding the service proposal?
We saw this before.
Yes. There needs to be a motion for the service proposal.
That's the same number that we discussed before. I would move we go ahead and agree to the service proposal. That project needs to continue to move forward.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And we'll jump down to old business under Section C. Out of all the meetings that we've had, where we are today is to ask the county attorney to put together an agreement as far as what that funding is going to look like between the city and the county. So that's where we're at now. I've talked to Jeff. I know Josh has made a presentation to the city council. I know the engineers have sat down with the city mayor. Where we're at now is to draft an agreement. I know Jeff's not here, but I spoke to him this morning. If we need to wait till he gets here, I think he's going to be here before 10:30, I believe.
Yeah,
Try to anyways.
three quick hearings this morning, so.
But for the court today is to move to have Jeff draft that agreement as far as what it's going to look like. I know the chairman of the IDA board, Dennis Smith, and myself, we sat down with Marty Johnson to get some ideas as far as funding options. But that's the next step, is to get council to draft an agreement so that the city can review it and the county fiscal court can review it. So what does the court want to do on? Do we want to wait till Jeff gets here, or do we want to move?
I guess if we had questions, he may be able to best talk about that. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll wait till he gets here. Chad, you mind waiting in case there's some questions that?
No, not
Okay.
at all. Real quick while I'm up here, as far as the sewer expansion project goes, you can probably have seen from the construction, they were able to get the encasement and the sewer line underneath the 641 over to the school property. Last week, we got that put in, and my understanding, they got a board meeting this week, and hopefully approval is issued to continue on, moving across the school property and over towards Christian Fellowship after this week. So that's the intent, but they're also at the same time headed north on 641, and they'll be putting in a new lift station over there at the Steeplechase subdivision, probably starting maybe later this week or the first part of next week, and expanding those sewers even more to those residents over there in that area on the west side of 641.
Yeah, the big manhole and the drill under the road was, from a weather standpoint, was certainly the things to get done now. So
And that's exactly right.
weather won't hurt us as bad on the rest of this.
No, they're getting towards the high ground, so there's a lot more places to work during the bad weather. So yeah, it was good to get out of that hole for sure.
Yeah.
Y'all have any questions about the project? From our standpoint, it appears everything's going on schedule. Everything is proceeding on schedule with that project, and we don't have any concerns to address at this point. I mean, everything seems to be going very well. Contractors working well with our inspectors and all the residents out there in the area. So I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on our end for the project.
No, I think they're moving fairly quickly as well. They're on their goal. Their goal was to get up on top of that high ground, so.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate you, Chad. Under correspondence, the Marsh County Exceptional Center open house, you should have that in front of you. This is just an announcement. The Morris County Exceptional Center quarterly invites you to an open house Sunday, 21st, October 2018. Please join us for an exceptional Sunday for fellowship, Morris County Exceptional Center individual performances, and music by area gospel groups. A spaghetti dinner will be served beginning at noon. The dinner is free, but donations are appreciated. The program will be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., and we'll make sure we put that out on our Facebook and our webpage. Go ahead.
Would there be any way we could make a donation to that from the fiscal court?
I think we've already got all of our grant dollars earmarked.
I didn't know if there's anywhere we could draw the money to make a donation on behalf of the fiscal court.
I think they got $30,000 from the fiscal court.
No, they got 5,000 this year.
Was it 5,000? I think that was put together by you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they were requesting 30,000.
Right.
The monies that were set aside for donations, the grants, I think those monies are spoken for. The 2,000 that were left in there were for the training for the nonprofits.
I didn't know if there's somewhere we move funds around all the time. I'd like to see us make a monetary donation to it.
Well, I know personally I'm going to make a donation. I know the options there to make personal donations.
Right.
Do we want to make a personal donation?
Sure, I was going to anyway, but I would like for the court to make one as a body.
You know what line you want that to come out of?
I don't know, Emily, what line do?
There are, in the service group contributions, there is the 22,000 in there. Little under 18 is allocated for the training for the nonprofits that we're going to provide. So that leaves a few thousand there. It seems like there was something else, though, that you all had discussed.
They were talking about the insurance, the liability insurance up at the Aurora Park at one time. I don't know, Brad was supposed to get with Bonnie, I think, and talk to her about the possibility of us helping them with that. They wasn't sure how they were gonna pay for that, I think, was what we discussed one meeting for some of those.
Okay.
He didn't think it'd be that much, but I don't
Right.
know. She's run into, and I thought Brad was gonna call her, I don't know if he did. He's run into just straight liability insurance is not very much, but they have a car show, and they have a bow fishing tournament. And it's been different, handled differently between events and just liability insurance for their property. So, she's struggling with that, I think. Having event insurance.
And I don't know. I don't know what.
And I don't know if they've ever gotten together or not. Last time I talked to her, they hadn't spoken. I told her to try to get a hold of him again. See what he said. He was gonna help look for insurance. He thought he could find some affordable insurance for him. And that was the last time we discussed it in court.
That leaves about $4,000 remaining in that line item. So I'd say allow probably on the high side, $2,000 for their insurance coverage if you all choose to do that.
Any amount that we could, I'd like to see us do it.
What amount?
Did you say we had $2,000 after that?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine with me.
Is that a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
What's the amount we're talking about?
For the exceptional center.
I mean, there's no dollar figure put on there. I've heard 4,000, I've heard we got $2,000. I certainly have no problem with contributing to the exceptional center. Provide a good service. I don't know what county in the state of Kentucky wouldn't want the Marshall County Exceptional Center on their resume. Second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. This is a public notice for ISP. We put this on here. We'll put this on the webpage so we can put that out there. Calvert City, Marshall County, Kentucky, tentative decision to renew a variance for waste designation. This from the EPA, so this is just a public notice, making the community aware. We'll put that out on our Facebook page and our webpage. The other public notice is agency interest 2930 pursuant to application CNC Metals from the Energy Environmental Cabinet, Division of Waste Management, received a notice intent to operate a residual landfill from CC Metals and Alloys, LLC. So this is another public notice. We'll put that on our webpage and our Facebook page as well. Gilbertsville Fire Department, this is the notice of meeting change. This again is from Gilbertsville Fire Department. To whom it may concern, due to conflict of attendance, a monthly board meeting, the board voted on October 8th to change the monthly meeting to the second Tuesday of each month starting January 2019. The meeting will remain the same and begin at 1800 hours at Station 1. So we'll put that on our webpage and Facebook page as well. Under old business, approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes, Judge.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, it's 10 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and need a motion to recess so we can go into our public hearing.
Motion to recess for the public hearing, Judge.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have that? Jason, this is the bonds. This is the public hearing for the bonds. Is this like the ask for three?
You ask for comments, opposing, ask for
Opposing and
comments
for.
against, or
Okay.
for, and then take those into consideration, then you close the hearing, and then make a decision at the next meeting.
Okay. We'll go ahead and call the public hearing to order at 10 a.m., October 16th, 2018, for the revenue. I think it's industrial bonds, and that's for Baptist
Crossings,
Kentucky Baptist Assemblies.
crossings, isn't that what the?
Crossings is the, yeah. I don't see anybody here, but is there any comments for? Are there any comments for? Are there any comments for? Are there any comments against? Are there any comments against? Are there any comments against? Does anybody have any comments? Anything? Okay. No comments for or against. Need a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Close the public.
Close the public hearing.
Motion to close the hearing.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Under old business, ordinance 2017-14, amended sanitation ordinance, second reading.
This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 2017-14, whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court wishes to amend one section of ordinance 2017-14
Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that ordinance number 2017-14 is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 9, fees, rates, and charges. A, the sanitation district shall appoint 3 customers to work with the district's board for a 3-year period as a rate advisory committee to assist in establishing customer rates and charges. A representative from the Marshall County School District as a publicly supported entity shall be appointed as one of the 3 customers. So the word appoint, and then that last sentence there, representative from the Marshall County School District shall be appointed is the change to that ordinance.
Move that we adopt.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under new business,
Judge, before we
Yeah.
skip that, I'd sent Desiree, remember when I sent you that heading to attach to that interlocal agreement? No, it wasn't this one. It was the interlocal agreement with Sanitation District and the school board.
did you send that to me?
I sent it. Well, yeah, you've got a copy of it. It's the one that Marty, it's the one we went over last meeting. And then I was gonna check double to make sure that it needed to be an ordinance form. And I think to be on the safe side, I think we do need to pass it as an ordinance. The school board can pass it as a resolution. The sanitation district can pass it as a resolution, but we need to do it as a ordinance.
Now, is that the one that Roger Rechtenwald had sent comments that the way we've got it drafted, the district formed, that there wasn't a need for an ordinance? Is that what you're talking about?
I didn't see those comments. I didn't see anything from Roger. I was just going by what the statute said as far as an interlocal
Yeah,
agreement.
was that the 220 statute? Because he was saying that the
No, the interlocal agreement is in
65.
65, yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding what you're saying.
The interlocal agreement that Marty and I worked on, or Marty drafted most of it, but we went over it last meeting.
Okay, let me see if I can't find it.
Yeah, we went through it.
So what are you wanting to,
We went through it once.
so you're needing a second reading of that? Okay. You got it in front of you to read it, or do you need it?
The last time we went over it, it wasn't in ordinance form, and then I drafted the preamble and sent it to Des to add that to the agreement.
Okay. So is that in the, do you want to take a look at this to see if it's in the body that you want?
Sure.
We presented this, I believe, last court meeting. We had the reading of it. We just need the second reading of it. And is this the same ordinance, 2714?
No, it's not that, it's not 2017 dash 14.
2018. Ordinance number 2018-14. An ordinance approving interlocal cooperative agreement with the Marsh County Sanitation District, Marsh County School Board, whereas the Marsh County Fiscal Court has reached an agreement with the Marsh County Sanitation District and the Marsh County School Board regarding improvements to the wastewater treatment system located in Draftonville, community of Marsh County, Kentucky, whereas the agreement has been reduced to writing below, whereas KRS 65-240 requires this agreement to be ratified in the form of an ordinance. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marsh County, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the following interlocal cooperative agreement is hereby approved. Motion on the second reading.
Covered on that. Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the second reading of that agreement, interlocal agreement.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On their new business, employee wage changes. Let's see. Come on up, LaDonna. Good morning.
Good morning. 3 months ago, I came and we talked about title changes for 2 of my employees and that we would wait 3 months about a pay increase, provided they met the expectations that were set forth. Not only did they meet the expectations, but they exceed on a daily basis. The first one was for John Townsend, where he became the Assistant 911 Director. So today I'm asking for a wage increase from $16.68 to $19.08. And for Sheila Day, who has become the Dispatcher Supervisor, that a wage increase from $15.49 to $17.54. I met earlier, a couple weeks ago, with Emily and Brad to make sure that this was already, that we could do this in my budget. Then Emily has assured me that we can do this. So I would like for these 2 individuals to receive that wage increase.
Much deserved.
Motion to approve those increases.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Road Department. You got that one, Wendy?
Yes, I spoke with Emily and Brad to go over our new wage scale and see where our employees fit in that scale. And we decided that Nicole needed a $1 an hour raise after looking into it, her job duties.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Kurt, do you have Darlene's?
I didn't know I didn't get a copy of it.
Okay. This is a wage increase for Darlene from $15.76 an hour to $16 an hour. Administrative assistant.
Motion to approve that.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, under new business, county clerk's claim for preparing tax bills. Let's see, total number of tax bills prepared, 23,325. Total, 6,997.50. One half to be paid by Commonwealth of Kentucky, 3,498.75. Official certification, $1.50. Total to be paid by Commonwealth, $3,525. You've got the document here. We need a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve the claim for preparing tax bills by the clerk.
Second that.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the resolution for DRA grant. I'll just read this. Resolution, whereas the Delta Regional Authority hereinafter DRA was created by Congress by the Delta Regional Authority Act of 2000 as amended as a federal-state partnership now comprised of 252 counties and parishes within the 8 states of Alabama, Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee in order to remedy several and chronic economic distress by stimulating economic development and fostering partnerships that will have a positive impact on the Delta region's economy. Whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court, acting by and through its commission, proposes to apply for award with DRA for the fiscal year 2019 federal award program cycle. Whereas DRA requires that a person be designated, appointed, and given the authority to perform certain duties in administration of said award for and on behalf of the awardee. Whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court met in regular session on October 2nd, 2018, whereby Commissioner Cock, Commissioner Gold, and Judge Neal were present, constituting a quorum. Whereas a motion was made by Commissioner Cock, was seconded by Commissioner Gold to designate and appoint Kevin Neal to perform all duties in administration of said award, which carried out unanimously by voice vote and was recorded on the minutes. Whereas a motion was made by Commissioner Boland, was seconded by Commissioner Cock to provide additional funds in the amounts of $600,000 to said award, which carried unanimous by vote and was recorded on the minutes. Now therefore be it resolved that by the County Marshal as follows, that Kevin Neal be and is hereby designated and appointed to perform on behalf of the Marshall County Fiscal Court, has the authority to make those acts and assume any and all duties in dealing with the award with DRA for the fiscal court, their fiscal year 2019 federal award program cycle. That Kevin Neal is hereby authorized to execute and submit any and all documents, including but not limited to applications, award closing documents, requests for funds, status reports to DRA for the fiscal year 2019 federal award program cycle. That the awardee agrees to provide additional funds in the amount of $600 to the said award. That in the event of administrative change, the Judge Executive shall continue to have such authority under this resolution, read and adopted this day. So is there a motion to adopt that resolution?
Motion to adopt the resolution, Judge.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. KIA Assistance Agreement. This is assistance agreement between the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority and County of Marshall County, Kentucky, the government agency, dated as of October 1, 2018. Do we need to read this whole thing, Jason? Doesn't require a whole reading. You guys have got this document. We just need a motion to approve the KIA Assistance Agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a resolution. I'll read the resolution, and this is with the assistance agreement. The resolution approving and authorizing assistance agreement between the County of Marshall, Kentucky and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority to provide up to $3,066,988 of loan funds for wastewater system improvements. Whereas the Fiscal Court, governing authority of the County of Marshall, Kentucky, governmental agency, has previously determined that it is in the public's interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the governmental agency's wastewater system, the project. And whereas the governmental agency has made application to the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, the authority for the purpose of providing monies to construct the project. And whereas in order to obtain such monies, the governmental agency is required to enter into an assistance agreement with the authority. Now, therefore, it is resolved by the County of Marshall, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the governing authority hereby approves and authorizes the assistance agreement between the governmental agency and the authority dated as July 1, 2018, substantially in the form of file with the governmental agency for the purpose of providing the necessary financing to for the governmental agency for the project. Section 2, that the judge executive and the fiscal court clerk of the governmental agency be and hereby are authorized, directed, and empowered to execute necessary documents or arrangements and to otherwise act on behalf of the governmental agency to effect such financing. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time provided by law. The certificate, I, the undersigned, hereby certify that I am the duly qualified and acting fiscal court clerk of the county of Marshall County, Kentucky, that the foregoing is a full, true, and copy of a resolution adopted by, okay, that's just a certificate. We need a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion to approve the resolution.
This is the assistance agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item under new business is the van for the senior citizens. The senior citizens, as you know, totaled one of their vans several months ago. Pacro actually had a van, I call it a bus, it's a 15-passenger vehicle in their queue down at Pacro. They put that out for bids. There were 3 counties interested for different agencies. I know McCracken County and Ballard were 2 of the other ones. I put a bid in for Marshall County. We were awarded the bid. It is a 1992 F-350. Do we get a picture of that? F-350. I had talked to Ken Lewis, asked him if he had a need for this vehicle. He said he did. I know Wendy sent the mechanic down. Their mechanic had looked at it, but I went down with the mechanic and we looked at it, and actually it's in pretty good condition. It's a 92 model. The only thing that they used it for is they would give tours of the facility, and they would drive people around, and they would use this vehicle. It's got 15,000 miles on it, so it's low mileage. Cosmetics, obviously you can see where it's been weathered. It's a 92 model, but as far as the working components of it, it's in fairly good shape. The interior is in good shape, and the air was working. Everything worked on it. The mechanic said it looked good, but out of the 3 counties that put in a bid, we were the highest one. I think that was sent out on October 1st. The bids were sent back and awarded October 5th, and McCracken County was putting in a bid for Heartland Cares, and Ballard County was putting in for Paducah Day Nursery. So that vehicle, Ken said they could use it. It's there. All we have to do is approve it, and it's at $5,150 for the vehicle, is what the bid was.
We are purchasing this on behalf of the senior citizens. It's their van, just like their other vehicles.
They can use it, yep.
Is it we're purchasing it for them? It's their vehicle.
Correct.
Or it's our vehicle?
It's a county vehicle, but they can use
It's a
it.
county vehicle. So unlike their other vehicles, because we had a discussion that a month ago or so about some other vehicles there. So it is not going to be like their other fleet of vehicles. It is
No.
a county vehicle for their use.
It'll be titled as a county vehicle, just like the other vehicles that are titled as
All
a
of them
county
are
vehicle.
titled as a county vehicle.
Correct.
All their vehicles, even though they purchased those vehicles, they are title as they always have been as county vehicles, but this will not be identical to their other vehicles.
This will be entered into county asset management system just like any other county vehicle.
Not like the other senior citizens. I was asked to ask that question by the senior citizens.
No, he's saying it will be like their other vehicles.
Okay, their other vehicles, they own those other vehicles.
No,
They just, we
They are
hold the
titled
titles
to
for
us.
insurance. Yes, for insurance purposes only.
yes.
And that will need to be the same way so that we can cover it.
Insurance-wise.
Yes.
Okay, so we will have they will operate the same as, okay. I just was asked to ask that question by the board.
Motion to approve the purchase.
Is there a second? All those favors say aye.
Aye.
Any
What was
opposed?
the purchase price again?
5,150.
5,150.
Do you all have a place in mind you want to pay for that with?
Did we discuss, what line did we discuss They approved it.
What,
Do
how are
y'all,
we gonna
do y'all
pay
have a
for it?
line you want to pull that from?
Nothing else, you get it out of reserves, but is there somewhere that we have an excess?
I can look for that if you all want to continue on the agenda.
We'll move on to, yeah, we're at you anyway, so we'll just wait. She's looking.
Okay.
Reserves is going to be the easiest and the fastest for me to find. You've got 74,000 in the general fund line item.
I'd recommend we take it out of those reserves.
I will move that to the fiscal court capital assets line item. Probably create a new vehicle asset line item to put that into. I don't want it to get confused in with the multi-projects building.
Is there a motion?
Make
to
that
move
motion.
it? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Yeah,
Carries.
it's an asset, I mean, it'll be basically, it'll be on the books, it's a county asset.
Next on the new business is treasurer's report.
For September 30th, 2018, general fund had a book balance of $573,454.63. Road fund, $1,435,377.98. Jail fund, $249,983.39. Grant fund, 0. 911 fund, $62,764.46. Occupational tax administrator, $3,990,161.68. ABC fund, $179,521.39. And building inspection fund, $60,798.87. Total reporting funds of $6,552,062.40.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report, subject to audit.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our building fund and our inspection fund is holding up fairly well. Is that right, Emily?
It is.
That's
It is.
good. Okay.
Treasurer's quarterly report.
The quarterly report reflects the same numbers as was just read in the September 30th, 2018 Treasurer's report. Total reporting funds is $6,552,062.40.
Motion to accept the quarterly report, subject to audit.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Encumbrance report.
As of September 30th, 2018, the general fund had an encumbrance balance of $57,240.43. Road fund, $109,921.93. Jail fund, $14,694.16. 911 fund, $942.75. ABC fund, $1,694.66, and building inspection fund, $8,432.96. Total encumbered funds, $192,926.89.
Motion to approve the encumbrance report.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Intra-fund transfer.
I'm asking permission to move from occupational tax fund to the general fund, $350,000. Occupational to tax fund occupational tax fund to the 911 fund, $49,812.50. Both of those are budgeted subsidies. I'm also asking to move from the Heritage General Fund to the CFSB General Fund, $80,711.68. That's a bank-only transfer.
Motion to approve those transfers.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Payment of the bills.
Pay the bills, Judge.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll go back up, since Jeff has joined us, under old business, item C, Southwest One Sewer Water Expansion Agreement. Where we're at now is the court asking council to put together an agreement, a draft agreement, to identify the funding options in the agreement between the city and of Benton and the Fiscal Court. I don't know if anybody had any questions.
At this point, the agreement would just relate to the financing?
Correct.
Okay, and not outline the specific duties on either part. I mean, we get the financing, then we'll address those issues as we go forward.
Is that responsible doing it in that manner?
Responsible.
We're agreeing to do it, and that was my question before. Shouldn't we, is that not putting the cart before the horse without sitting down with the city of Benton and the leaders and seeing who will be responsible financially for the?
That's what I thought, that's what I understood I was supposed to do.
That's the agreement.
That's what he's gonna hammer out.
Okay. We haven't done that as of yet. We haven't
Well-
sat down with them. Is that correct, Chad?
I think the judge has, but I mean, I have it.
Let me try to explain this again. The documents that you have there, that Chad talked about, the project profile that Benton had put with KIA, are you familiar with the documents there? That was a project that Benton had already put together. They were already going to upgrade their interceptor.
I understand all that. I've had several conversations.
Okay.
Many conversations
What
with
was-
Mayor Dotson herself.
What was discussed and thrown out there as an option was that section of the line extension be the city's responsibility out of the debt service. Now, that was thrown out there as a suggestion. How they pay that, that's where, with a draft agreement, that's on them. We don't know how, at this point, how they're going to do that. But
They don't know how they're going to do that either.
that was discussed. I know Josh went to the city council, had met with the city council and discussed with them. At this point, putting a draft agreement together to outline what has been discussed is where we're at. But that project profile is to let you see the details, because the other details that Chad presented that we've discussed in executive session in past, before we actually moved to purchase the property, the $2.2 million, everyone's seen that. We've discussed that. That's the water and wastewater combined for the expansion. But the portion, and I think we had discussed in executive session, a loan or bonds were the best option, because that way it'll hold both the parties accountable as far as what their portion to pay for the debt service. That's where we're at. So it has been discussed. The next step is to have council move forward on drafting that document.
But I'm still not clear on who is financially responsible for what in the project. I'm just getting different vibes from what I hear in executive session here and what in my conversation with Mayor Dotson and city officials in Benton. And I said previously when Chad was at the podium, my suggestion is we sit down, this body and the mayor or representatives from the city, and eyeball to eyeball, get this all figured out so that it's not he said, she said, they said, and we're all looking at each other and we're all in agreement of who's responsible for what part of this financially.
That's where we're at right now.
We haven't done that.
That's-
When is that taking place, or when?
Well,
It
if
hasn't taken place.
you've got all the documents, you've been involved in all the discussions up to this point, now we need to move to have council prepare that draft document.
But again, my question hasn't been answered. Why aren't we sitting down with the city of Benton? We're in this project together. It's their water system. Unless they agree to expand and do expand their facilities, they cannot provide service for Southwest One. And we need to work together as a group to accomplish this, and we haven't had that meeting. That's my concern. Does nobody think we need to sit down and have a game plan or interlocal agreement or whatever with the city of Benton to who's going to be responsible financially for this project? We're talking about millions and millions of dollars, and this whole project's dependent on whether they get utilities out there and infrastructure out there. And the city of Benton has the infrastructure. Whether we're going to do it financially and we're going to be the one that finances the entire project, or what part they can contribute towards the upgrade of their infrastructure. But
Do you understand?
I mean, that's what Jeff's that's what he's about to come up with, the agreement.
Okay, so you're going to.
Working with the city of Benton.
That was just my understanding of what I was being asked to do.
And he'll bring it back to us.
Get the basic thing ready for you all to then meet, do whatever y'all want to do with it.
With the city of Benton.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem if long as we sit down with them, but I'm just getting different vibes from my conversations with them and their abilities to participate in at what level. And that all needs to be worked out. That's just part of the business plan.
Got a tough
don't think-
negotiator over there.
I certainly don't want to do it by myself. I'll reach out, and I'll make sure that all that input is utilized.
Okay?
So everybody understands. Rick, you understand?
Make a motion for the county attorney to move forward with drafting the agreement, work with the city to draft this financial agreement for Southwest One Utilities.
Was there a different, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but was there an extra packet with the information you all have just been talking about as far as financing or anything to do with that? It's not in here.
Are you talking about the engineering proposal packet?
I guess so.
Yeah, that.
That's apparently something you all saw. Oh, there you
We've
go.
already discussed that.
Okay.
They
You want it?
they tie
You
in
want this one?
together. Yeah, they tie in
Here,
together.
give that
but
to him. He might need it better, more than I do.
Is there a second on Bob's motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We need to go in executive session for an opioid update. Jeff, did you get that email? Yeah, yeah.
Motion go in executive session for the opiate update.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go ahead and call court back to order. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.